What if I told you that some of the best financial wisdom you'll ever hear is over 2,000 years old? The ancient Romans weren't just master builders and military strategists, they were also incredibly savvy with their money. And in today's world of inflation, student debt, and economic uncertainty, their wisdom is more relevant than ever. Today, we're diving into the financial philosophy of ancient Rome through the words of their greatest thinkers. We'll explore 7 powerful quotes from Roman philosophers and statesmen and discover how their practical wisdom can transform your relationship with money in modern times. So grab your laurel wreath and let's journey back to ancient Rome to learn how to master our finances like a true Roman. The first quote comes from Cato the Elder. Patrem familias vendacem, non emacem esse oportet, which means the head of the household should be a seller, not a buyer. From one of Rome's most legendary figures when it came to frugality. This quote might seem strange at first. What does he mean by being a seller, not a buyer? Cato lived during the Roman Republic, around 200 BC, when Rome was transitioning from a simple agricultural society to a complex economic power. He watched as many Romans became obsessed with imported luxuries from Greece and the East, expensive furniture, exotic foods, elaborate clothing. Cato saw this consumption as a threat to Roman virtue and independence. When Cato says, "Be a seller, not a buyer," he's advocating for production over consumption. He wanted Romans to focus on creating value, growing crops, making goods, developing skills, rather than just spending money on things others produced. A seller is in control, a buyer is dependent. Think about your own financial life. Are you primarily a consumer, or are you creating value? In today's gig economy and creator culture, Cato's advice is incredibly powerful. Instead of just buying the latest gadgets or subscribing to every streaming service, ask yourself, what can I produce? What skills can I develop to generate income? Whether it's freelancing, starting a side business, creating content, or learning to repair things instead of replacing them. Being a seller means focusing on income generation and value creation, not just consumption. This doesn't mean never buying anything. It means shifting your mindset from what do I want to buy to what can I create or produce that others will value. That shift is transformative. Our second quote comes from Seneca. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This profound statement comes from Seneca, a Stoic philosopher who was also one of the wealthiest men in Rome. The irony? He understood that wealth without wisdom is worthless. Seneca lived during the early Roman Empire, around 50 AD, during a time of unprecedented wealth and luxury. The empire's expansion brought enormous riches to Rome, but also created a culture of endless wanting. The elite competed to show off more elaborate villas, more expensive banquets, more exotic entertainments. Seneca observed that the richest people were often the most miserable because no amount of wealth satisfied their cravings. He argued that true poverty isn't about your bank account, it's about your desires. If you constantly want more, you'll always feel poor, no matter how much you have. We live in the age of lifestyle inflation and social media comparison. You get a raise, and immediately your expenses rise to match it. You scroll Instagram, and suddenly your perfectly good home feels inadequate compared to influencer mansions. Seneca's wisdom cuts through this trap. Real wealth isn't about earning more, it's about wanting less. This doesn't mean living in deprivation, it means finding contentment with enough. Practical steps define what enough means for you. Maybe it's a comfortable home, reliable transportation, healthy food, and savings for emergencies. Once you have enough, recognize it, celebrate it. Stop the treadmill of always needing the next thing. When you master your desires, you're wealthy, regardless of your income. When your desires master you, you're poor, no matter how much you earn. The third quote comes from the poet Horace. Est modus in rebus, which means there is a measure in all things. The poet Horace gives us this elegant principle, moderation. It's simple, yet revolutionary in practice. Horace lived during Augustus's reign, the first Roman emperor, around 20 BC. This was a time when Rome was establishing the Pax Romana, Roman peace, and prosperity was spreading. But with prosperity came excess. Horace, who came from humble origins and worked his way up to become one of Rome's greatest poets, understood both scarcity and abundance. His philosophy emphasized the golden mean, the middle path between extremes. Not poverty, but not wasteful luxury either. Not stinginess, but not reckless spending. Romans understood that both excessive frugality and excessive spending were vices. The virtue lay in the middle, spending appropriately for your circumstances, neither hoarding obsessively nor splurging recklessly. In modern personal finance, we often hear extreme advice: either deprive yourself of all pleasure to save money, or treat yourself constantly because you deserve it. Both approaches fail. Horace's moderation offers a better path. Budget for both necessities and pleasures, but keep both in proportion. Maybe that means enjoying a nice dinner out once a month, not every day or never. Buying quality items that last, not the cheapest or the most expensive. Saving a reasonable percentage of income, not every penny or nothing. Taking a modest vacation, not going into debt for luxury travel or never taking time off. The key is balance. Extreme frugality leads to burnout and eventual overspending. Constant indulgence leads to debt and anxiety. The middle path leads to sustainable financial health and genuine enjoyment of life. Our fourth quote comes from Emperor Vespasian. Pecunia non olet, which means money doesn't smell. This quote has a funny origin story that reveals Roman pragmatism about money. Emperor Vespasian, ruling around 70 AD, needed to refill Rome's treasury after years of civil war and Nero's extravagance. He instituted a tax on public urinals, which collected urine for use in laundry and leather tanning. Romans were practical people. When Vespasian's son complained that this tax was undignified, the emperor held up a gold coin and asked, "Does this smell?" Money is money, regardless of its source, as long as it's legal and ethical. This wasn't about being crude, it was about Roman practicality. They didn't have romantic notions about noble versus common work. Money earned honestly through any legal means was legitimate. In today's economy, there's often snobbery about certain types of work. People feel ashamed of unglamorous jobs or side hustles. We're told to follow our passion, even if it means poverty. Vespasian's wisdom cuts through this. There's no shame in honest work that pays the bills. Whether you're a plumber, a delivery driver, a data entry clerk, or a corporate executive, if you're earning money legally and ethically, that money spends the same. This is especially relevant for gig workers. Don't be ashamed of driving for Uber or delivering food if it pays your bills. Successful Romans had diverse income sources: farms, businesses, investments. Today's side hustles follow the same principle. It's okay to take a boring but stable job over a passionate but unstable one. The goal isn't to do undignified work forever. It's to be practical about earning while you build toward bigger goals. Romans understood that financial stability was the foundation for everything else. The fifth quote comes from Cicero. True nobility comes from virtue, not from wealth. While this isn't exclusively about money management, Cicero's principles shaped how Romans thought about the purpose of wealth. Cicero, Rome's greatest orator and a brilliant politician, lived during the late Republic around 60 BC, when Rome was torn between traditional values and new wealth. He himself came from a relatively modest background but rose to the highest ranks through his talents. Cicero argued that what made someone truly respectable wasn't their bank account but their character, their integrity, wisdom, service to the community, and self-discipline. Wealth was a tool, not a goal in itself. For Romans, the worst thing you could be was someone who gained wealth but remained vulgar and selfish. The best thing you could be was someone who used wealth wisely and generously to benefit society. We live in an era obsessed with net worth as the ultimate scorecard. Social media influencers flaunt luxury goods. We conflate wealth with worth. Cicero reminds us that money is morally neutral. It's what you do with it that matters. This has practical implications. Instead of asking, how can I get rich? Ask, what do I want to accomplish and how much money do I need to do it? Maybe it's supporting your family, contributing to your community, or achieving financial independence to pursue meaningful work. Romans thought about generational wealth and responsibility. What are you building that outlasts your own consumption? This might mean investing in your children's education, supporting causes you believe in, or building something that creates value for others. Pay your debts. Be honest in business. Don't scam people for profit. Romans believed your reputation was more valuable than short-term financial gain, and they were right. Money should serve your values, not become your value. The sixth quote comes from Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus was a former slave who became one of Rome's most influential Stoic philosophers. His perspective on wealth was shaped by experiencing both extremes. Living around 100 AD, Epictetus taught that external things, including money, are ultimately outside our control and therefore shouldn't be the focus of our happiness. What we can control is our desires, judgments, and responses. He watched wealthy Romans chase after more possessions, never satisfied, always anxious about losing what they had. Meanwhile, he found that by reducing his wants to simple necessities, he achieved a contentment that the wealthy envied. The Stoics distinguished between things up to us, like our choices, values, and efforts, and things not up to us, like wealth, status, and others' opinions. They focused their energy on the former. This is perhaps the most countercultural message for modern consumers. Our entire economy is built on creating new wants through advertising, social pressure, and the fear of missing out. Epictetus offers liberation. What if you simply stopped wanting most of what you think you need? Practical applications. Before buying anything non-essential, put it on a 30-day list. Revisit after a month. You'll find most desires fade. Before purchasing, calculate how many hours you worked to earn that money. Is that item worth 10 hours of your life? Instead of constantly acquiring, try removing. Declutter your home. Cancel subscriptions. Simplify. Many people report feeling wealthier with less. The formula is simple. Wealth equals resources divided by desires. You can increase wealth by earning more, but it's often easier to decrease your desires. Do both, and you become truly wealthy. Our seventh and final quote is a Roman proverb. Thrift is the foundation of abundance. This wasn't from one specific person, but was a common Roman saying that captured their cultural wisdom about money. Romans built their empire on discipline and deferred gratification. Their military success came from soldiers who could endure hardship. Their architectural marvels came from investing in long-term projects. Their great families maintained wealth across generations through careful management. They understood that you can't build anything lasting, whether an empire, a business, or family wealth, through immediate gratification. Abundance comes from consistently saving, investing, and building, rather than constantly consuming. This is the unsexy but essential truth about building wealth. It requires thrift. Not forever, but for long enough to build a foundation. The modern path. First, save an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. This foundation protects you from debt when emergencies happen. Second, eliminate high-interest debt. Credit cards and predatory loans are wealth destroyers. Pay these off aggressively. Third, live below your means. Not forever, but until you've built sufficient assets. The gap between earning and spending is where wealth is created. Fourth, invest the difference. Romans bought land and productive assets. Today, that might be index funds, retirement accounts, or business investments. Fifth, remember that time is your ally. The earlier you start being thrifty, the more abundance you'll build through compound growth. The Romans knew that the years of discipline weren't a sacrifice. They were an investment. The thrift of your 20s and 30s creates the abundance of your 40s, 50s, and beyond. The ancient Romans built an empire that lasted 1,000 years. Their financial wisdom helped create and sustain that success, and these same principles can transform your financial life today. To recap the 7 lessons: first, be a seller, not just a buyer. Focus on creating value. Second, master your desires. True poverty is wanting more. Third, practice moderation. Avoid both extremes. Fourth, respect honest work. Money is money. Fifth, use wealth for virtue. Let money serve your values. Sixth, reduce wants. Wealth is resources divided by desires. Seventh, build through thrift. Abundance comes from discipline. The Romans understood something we've forgotten. Financial wisdom isn't about complex strategies or get-rich-quick schemes. It's about timeless principles of discipline, moderation, contentment, and value creation. These quotes have survived 2,000 years because they capture truth about human nature and money that doesn't change. Whether you're in ancient Rome or modern times, these principles work. So which Roman wisdom will you apply first? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this valuable, please like the video and subscribe for more content on timeless wisdom for modern life.